Hashem, Parachat Vayeshev. This is one of the most complex parasha to explain, because the brothers judging the brother, right, Yosef, the one in the beginning, they wanted to kill him, then he was saved, then he was sold to Mitzrayim, he was sold 4 times, he's going down, the whole story. But this is a study by itself. But today, I think we'll speak about a pasuk over here, a verse. It says over here, when they decided to kill him, they judged them. So basically what happened is, there were 9 brothers, and they wanted to be 10. So they added the Shekhinah, the divine presence, to be with them. So Hakadosh Baruch Hu was with them. And they were sitting and they done din. Vayiru oto merachok. They saw from far he's coming towards them. So now they say, oh no, probably another dream he wants to tell us. He already told us 2 dreams. And now probably he has another dream he wants to tell us, right? Again, we're bowing down, we're going to come down to him, we're going to beg him. So it says, we have to put a stop to this, right? We have to put a stop to this. And there was also kind of a small jealousy towards him. So they sat down and they said, that's it. They said, Vayeru oto merachok, ubeterem ikrav aleim, before even he was coming towards next to them, vayitnaklu oto la'amito, they judged them, and the verdict was to kill him. That was the final verdict. They decided, that's it.
The judgment was Midin Roidev? The judgment.
Oh. So what was the motto of this judgment? They said, what's his interest, right, to say lashon hara about us, right? They in the beginning of the parsha it says, Vayave Yosef et dibatam ra'a el aviem, and he constantly said 3 things. He says that they eating meat without shechting it, without slaughtering the meat. They see women over there. They're the whole day in the mountains with their sheep, with their flocks, and there's women over there. What are they doing there? And then they say, in between them, there's lack of respect. Reuven, Yehuda, all those, the ones coming from the mothers, which is Rachel and Leah, right? He is Rachel, but the one coming from Leah are denigrating, like they're putting down their other brothers, Gad Naphtali, Gad Dan ve'Asher, and saying, oh, you come from the Shfachot. Your mother was a servant. She got married to our father, but you considered like slaves. Kor'im, in between them, says you were like slaves. Yeah. So Rashi says, Be'emet, at the end he was punished for everything, right? He said they're eating meat without shechting it. Just for putting his tunic in blood, they had to shecht a goat, right? So they told him, look, we're not going to eat this goat just to put the blood, or we still shecht it, right? And you said there's women. The woman, the wife of Potiphar, attacked him, right? Harassed him. And then at the end, he said they're slaves. He was sold as a slaves. So, Bikitsu, the judgment was, the idea was, but at the end, what's his interest to continuously repeating it? If he say it one time, okay. But he continuously repeating it, Vayave Yosef et dibatam, he's continuously saying it. So they came to the conclusion, his intention is to dishurt them, which means he's going to speak bad about them to the point that Yaakov is going to say, okay, so they don't deserve anything. So they don't deserve to be the Shvatim, right? Let Yosef be the big Shevet, and out of Yosef are going to come 12 other tribes, right? But this is taking away Olam Haba from them. It's like condemning them. They felt that Yosef is condemning them from Olam Haba, from the next world, not to have a chelek, not to have a part in the next world. If they're not going to be the Shvatim, so they're going to be simple people, even worse than that, right? So they for sure said, if this is what he's thinking, we have to put a stop to that. So lechu v'na'argeu, let's kill him, right? Why? Somebody's running after you to kill you. You have all the legit, right, reason to protect yourself. Midin rodef, right? Yeah, exactly. They were scared for their olam haba. So then, at the last moment, right? He came to them already, right? And they were about to kill him. And Reuven, Vayishma Reuven, Vayetzileu miyadam. The last minute, Reuven comes and no. Lo nakenu nefesh. Let's not kill him. Let's give it a second thought. You know, we came to the conclusion we came, right? And we judged them, But you know what? Let's go over the case. Let's think if there something we can say for him in his merit, or if there's no, whatever was going to be the judgment again, whatever going to be the conclusion again, but at least we gave it a second thought, right? So, ויאמר עליהם ראובן, אל תשפכותם. Therefore, what we should do, you know what? There's a pit, השליכו אותו הבור הזה. There's a pit over here, put him in the pit, and let's go over the din. Let's go over the judgment, right? And the Torah it testifies on Reuven, למען אציל אותו מידם להשיבו אל אביו. He was very strongly hoping that he's going to be able to save him and bring him back to his father. That was what Reuven was hoping. So he did that, so they should go over the judgment, and hopefully something is going to come up, right? Hopefully something is going to come up, a point of merit that he'll be able to save him. At the end, what happens? He goes to serve his father, because they were taking turns to serve their father, Yaakov, right? He goes to serve his father. Meanwhile, Arabs pass by. Yehuda gives the idea, you know what? Instead of judging him, killing him, let's sell him. So it would be much. We didn't touch him. We didn't dirty our hands with blood. Okay? Everybody says, oh, Yehuda, you say that? Okay, we agree. So they sold him. Reuven comes back, and it says over there, וישוב ראובן אל הבור, והנה אין יוסף בבור, and Yosef is not there. He tears his clothes and he says, הילד איננו ואני אני בא. Why is that? Say the commentary. They say, when he went to serve his father Yaakov asked him, Reuven, oh, I sent Yosef to look for you. I was worried 3 days, I didn't have news for him. That's what his father told him. Lech nareh shlom achecha v'shlom hatzon. Already 3 days I didn't hear from you. Because sometimes when they go to the mountains, they wouldn't come back at night. So he said, did you meet Yosef? Yeah, I met Yosef. Yeah, we saw him. How is he doing? Yeah, Baruch Hashem, everything is okay. Now, he doesn't know what happened to Yosef. Eneno. What is he going to tell his father? You're going to shakran. You are a liar. I asked you, Yosef is okay. He told me yes. So now he's not there. So what's going to be? Right? So he tore his clothes, right? Ana eneno va'ani ana ani ba. How would I face my father now? I just told him everything is okay. How would I face my father now? Right? He had the dilemma. That's the story of Reuven. That's what happened to Reuven. Let's.
But he agreed.
Huh?
But he agreed to.
He didn't agree to kill him. No, the Torah says, "Lema'an atzil oto miyadam." He wanted to say. Who? Yeah. Right. After they judged them, he said, "Let's give him a second chance." And the second chance was to throw him in the pit with the. Yeah, but you can always take back. You can always go back. Right? The Dayan can always go back. So he says, yeah, they judged them, but let's give it a second chance. And the Torah says he was very much hoping to save him. Right? But let's see what's happened. Why is Reuven so much involved in this story? Okay, he's the Bechor, but why is he so much involved? So it's so beautiful. Perush brought down Rav Mordechai Ezrach. He brings it down. Birkat Mordechai. He says like this: Reuven had already experience by judging too quickly. What was the experience? Yaakov Avinu alav hashalom, Rachel passed away, right? What does he do? He takes his bed and he brings it le'oel Leah, to the tent of Leah. He says, now Rachel passed away, right? So I'm going to go with Leah. And sorry, not Leah. He goes to oil Bil'ah. Put it in oil Bil'ah. Who is Bil'ah? She's the servant of Rachel. Comes Reuven and he gets upset. What do you mean? Okay, I understand where they were alive, Rachel and Leah. Yaakov really wanted to marry Leah. He was strict. Leah was always the favorite. He was strict. Rachel was always the favorite. Okay, even after the children of Leah, right? By the time of Boaz, right? They said, "Iten Adonai ta isha ba'el betecha kerachel uchleah." Who is older? Leah is older. They should have said, Keleah uchrachel. So they said, no, afilu, Rashi says, even the children of Leah, they knew that Rachel is the favorite. So they said, Boaz is Mishevet Yehuda, iten ha'isha ba'al betecha kerachel uchleah. Right? So Reuven says, okay, I have no problem with that. When they were alive, Rachel was alive and Leah was alive, I understand, that Yaakov would be more frequently with Rachel than would be with Leah. But now that Rachel passed away, by nature, he is hoping that Yaakov, his father, would go with his mother, would be more frequent with his mother. What does Yaakov do? He takes his bed and he puts it in the tent of Bil'ah, the servant of Rachel. Comes Reuven and he says, no way. This I'm not going to let happen. Why? וילך ראובן, וישכב את בלעה פלגש אביו. וישמע ישראל, והיו בני יעקב 12. מה זה וישכב? וילך ראובן, and he went with the wife of his father. Bil'ah, what does it mean, right? Rashi says, no. You know what he did? וישכב, he took the bed, and he brought it back to his mother's tent. באיזה רשות? What are you taking Yaakov's bed? Huh? Oh, and the Torah is considering it kilu shachavita. The fact that you take it without permission of Yaakov, right? And that stopped Yaakov having a 13th son.
What was Reuven's Havamina?
Huh?
What was Reuven's
Again, because he said a servant cannot be competition to his mother. His mother is a matriarch. The servant are not matriarchs. לא אימהות, אימהות זה רחל ולאה. So how can you make competition to my mother with the servant? Doesn't work. So he goes, he switches the bed. The Torah says, oh, he didn't do, but the fact that you did that without asking your father, without you judged it by yourself, you felt this is your judgment. So Vayishkav et Bil'ah, Pilegesh Aviv. And that's written in the Torah. That's eternal. Wow, he says, מה פתאום, אני לא עשיתי את זה, I didn't do that. בתורה כתוב, the Torah says, the Torah is eternal. זה הביזיון הכי גדול שיכול להיות לבן אדם. When the Torah says you did an עבירה, now you can say whatever you want, no one's going to believe you. Right? So we are reading commentaries so we understand, but take somebody who doesn't read commentaries, מה? He went and he slept with בלעה, כן? לא, תסתכל ברש"י, look at the commentaries. לא, אני לא רוצה. זה ביזיון. It's a big ביזיון. What is his father telling him? Not right away. Look at Parashat Vayechi. Parashat Vayechi. Yaakov is about to leave this world. He's calling all, Yasfu b'nei Yaakov, all the children of Yaakov, please gather. I want to give you, each one of you, bracha, ve'agid alachem et achem. He says, Reuven, bechori ata. Reuven, you are my bechor. Reshit, kochi ve'reshit oni. You know, I had you at the age of 84 years old. Until 84 years old, I didn't never sin with my Brit Milah. You know, you are my Bechor, really. But, Pachaz Kamayim. You have the quality of water. What does water do? Water runs. Water doesn't think. Whatever there's an opening, the water runs anywhere. Right? You ran like water. Why didn't you come ask me? Why don't you ask me, why do you put the bed in the oil bil'ah? You should have asked me, right? You just decided on your own. You took the bed and you put it in your mother's tent. You didn't let me have a 13th child, right? Pachas kamayim. You have the quality of water. You know what you're going to be? You're going to be punished. What's your punishment? I wanted you to be Bechor. You're not going to be Bechor. You know who's going to be Bechor? Yosef. Who is getting a double part in Israel? Yosef. Menashe Ephraim. I wanted you to be the king. You're not going to be the king. The king is going to be Yehuda. Lo Yasef Shem Yehuda. I wanted you to be Kohen. You're not going to be Kohen. Levi is going to have Kohanim. He lost three major things. Pachaz kamayim. Because he ran and he did judgment without thinking. You don't think, you lose. Comes Reuven now in our parasha, he says, wow. We just judged Yosef Lamita. We have to kill him, right? No. I have already experienced. Ashlichu labo, do me a favor, throw him in the pit, and let's go over this subject. Let's go over the details. Let's go over this whole judgment. Let's see if we can save him. He has experienced what does it mean to judge without thinking twice. So they told him. Yeah. So therefore, Reuven has experience, right? Our sages say, כל האומר ראובן חטא אינו אלא טועה. Whoever says Reuven sinned in the case of Bil'ah when he switched the bed, he's wrong. He didn't sin, right? But the chidush is he didn't sin and still he did tshuva kol yamav, all his life. So Rashi in this week's parasha in Vayeshev says when Reuven left, he he went to serve his father, but also for another thing. חזר לשקו ותעניתו. כל החיים שלו התענה על זה. All his life he did ta'anit because of the story of Gil'ah, of the bed, that he switched the beds. חזר לשקו ותעניתו. All his life. But the Torah אומרת, the Chazal say, כל האומר ראובן חטא טועה. Whoever says he sinned is mistaken. Doesn't make a difference. בתורה כתוב, מה כתוב בתורה? וישכב. Why? All his life. So now, if you want to do tshuva, next time something similar is going to happen to you, you're going to think twice. This is what's happening now. What's happening now? They're judging the little brother Yosef Lamita. No. Let's think it over. Put him in the ball and let's think over the whole story, right? It says in Pirkei Avot, right? In Pirkei Avot, it says that אנשי כנסת הגדולה, right? משה קיבל תורה מסיני, ומסרה ליהושע, וזקנים מסורה אנשי כנסת הגדולה. אנשי כנסת הגדולה said three things. What did they say? The first thing they say, הוו מתונים בדין. ועמידו אותם לי הרבה ועשו סגל התורה. בדבר הראשון, in life, הוו מתונים בדין. When there's a judgment in front of you, and you're a dayan, can be in any aspect of life. Even if you're not a real dayan, you want to judge somebody, think it over. Think twice. הוו מתונים בדין. Don't rush to give, right? And Rashi explains, מה זה? Even if a din came to you 3 times already, the dayan, he heard the same case from 3 different people that happened to them. He heard the same case, and he gave a psak to the first one, the same psak to the second one, and the same psak to the third one. If 4th time comes to you, הוו מתונים בדין. אל תמהר לפסוק. Oh, but already 3 times, the same. Maybe one detail might change, and the whole thing this situation might change. הוו מתונים בדין. Never judge with the rush, right? Always think what we're about to do, right? And the Gemara, I think it is the Gemara appropriate to bring that. The Gemara in Brachot Daf Chav. The Gemara says, Lama Rishonim, why the Rishonim has so many miracles? The Rishonim, the first generation, you're talking about 3,000 years ago, the Tanaim, right? The Moraim, the Tanaim, Moraim. If they needed rain, the Gemara says, what would they do? They would say, Hashem, I want you to bring rain right now. They would take off their shoe. As they take off their shoe, rain would come, right? And a lot of miracles. We read in Talmud a lot of miracles. How did they merit that? So the Gemara says, I'll tell you a story. Shayu mosrim nafsham, they would give their soul for Torah. Example, Ravada Barava. He goes in the marketplace. He sees a woman. She has a coat. She's wearing a coat, right? And the coat was in the color of red, but very shiny red. So whoever sees the color, whoa. So right away he looks at the woman. He says, that's choser tzniut. That's a lack of modesty. Ma'asa, without thinking twice, olech korea latamid. He tears the coat. What? What was it? What are you doing? Now he thought she's Jewish. It comes to be she's not Jewish. Right away she called policemen. There was witnesses all over the market. They took him to be judged. The judge told them, 400 zuz. A coat doesn't cost even 4 zuz, 10 zuz. The judge told them 400 zuz. The interesting part is asking her, מה שמך? What's your name בכלל? Matun. My name is Matun. Oh, so Omer, Matun. If I would have patience, I would say $400 now. Matun. זה לא סתם. אומרת הגמרא, אתה רואה מה זה יראת שמיים? He went and he tore the coat, right? But he understood also, as much as this was the thing to do, if she would have been Jewish, and be taken to a Jewish court, he wouldn't be responsible, she would be responsible. But, רגע, תשאל אותה, מה שמך? What's your name? אם תגיד לך שרה, רבקה, לאה, זה, אז תקרא את המיל. Then you tear the coat. but you tear a coat, and after you ask her name, and you find out she's a goya, and she can do whatever she wants, you know? That's it. So that's what the Pirkei Avot, that's why אנשי כנסת הגדולה הוו מתונים בדין. Always be patient. Don't rush to conclusion. Don't rush to judge. Don't rush to punish. Don't rush to condemn. Right? מתונים בדין. Right? Reuven is teaching us in this week's parasha Reuven is teaching us. I saw also, it brought down in Rabbi Yehuda Hasid. Rabbi Yehuda Hasid brings down that there was a father, before passing away, he was giving a tzavah to his son. He told him, my son, when you see a situation in life, don't judge. Matun, be patient, be patient. And judge, after you thought about it, then you judge. Okay. And the father passed away. This person kept it, your father told her, always kept it. בקיצור, says Rabbi Yehuda Hasid, אותו אדם, לא היה לו פרנסה בעירו. He couldn't find פרנסה in the city. So he traveled overseas, right? That's in the olden days, that's what they used to do. But when they used to travel overseas, it's not for one day, not for a year, sometimes 10 years, 20 years. They would make a little bit money and come back. Always with the permission of their wives. There was no communication. It was not like today, phones, internet. There was no communication. So the guy disappeared for 10 years, 20 years, and he comes back home. He says, Baruch Hashem, I made some money. Now we can live happily after. Everything. This guy goes, asks permission. His wife says, you have no parasa. We're going to, go make some money. Olech lemedinat hayam. He goes overseas. He works there. And Baruch Hashem, he makes a lot of money. He makes money. And he comes back to his town. He comes back the middle of the night. He goes home. So he has the keys to his house. He comes in the house. And he wants to go to sleep. He comes to the bedroom. His wife with a man in bed. Now he was away for 15 years. He says, what? She cheated on me. I told her to wait for me. I didn't even give a get. So she eshetish. Takes out a knife. He wants to stab both of them. He's furious. Then Nizkar, he remembered what his father said. Before you judge, before you do anything, think it over. Think it over. What does he do? He goes, he sits on a chair next to bed, and he's waiting for the morning, for them to get up. He's waiting there, and they get up. As she gets up, she sees him. Oh, my husband, my loved one. Wow, how are you doing? I waited. What? You better explain yourself. I'm about to kill you. Say what? Explain what? What are you sleeping with the man in bed? He says, Chas v'shalom, what are you talking about? What do you mean, what are you talking about? He says, but it's not a man, it's your son.
What?
It's your son. He says, you left, I was pregnant. And we had the baby. You left 15 years, he's 15 years old, Bahu, right? And I was scared to sleep alone, so I told him to sleep with me in bed, right to her. If he would have killed them, what he would find out next day in the Levaya? You killed your wife and your son. Retzach, double. Just because matun, metinut, wait. Don't judge so fast, you never know. It's not everything what you see. Okay? Not everything what you see. He saved his wife and he saved himself. Right? So Reuven, right, is teaching us matun. I want to bring something more actual. Listen to this. In a kollel, in Chulon, in Israel, kollel in Chulon, the Rosh Yeshiva, the Rosh Kollel, he went to the bathroom, they were somewhere, right? All of a sudden, a taxi driver comes in the Kollel. You have 20 Avrechim over there, Pitpula Doraita, yes, Rashba, Tosfot, the guy comes, excuse me guys, I have a quick question to ask you. He says, I'm Cohen. Can I take a divorced lady? Bolepo, come here. The guy goes, grabs him, puts him down, goes, he takes a chumash, opens, Isha, Zona, Vechala, Isha, Grusha, Isha, Lokachu. What do you think? And they start to bring the Rambam, and you have Grusha, why, my Krelecha Zelav, and every day you cannot do Birkat Kohanim, you're not going to be considered Kohen, and they give him for 10 minutes, ta. Meanwhile, the Rosh Kollel comes in, he sees Balagan. Everybody's with books, and this guy in the middle, מה קורה פה? What's going on? כבודו, this guy, Kohen, he wants to take grusha. So Shlomo was a little bit chacham. He says, okay, תירגעו, calm down. He calls him, he says, מה קוראים לך? יעקב כהן, יעקב, תגיד לי, מה אתה רוצה? What do you want? He says, כבודו, I'm a taxi driver. And there's a lady, she's divorced, she wants to come on the taxi, I want to take her. Can I take her to Yerushalayim? So they thought, לקחת means to marry her. עכשיו הוא נהג taxi, he's a taxi driver, you just want to drive her. אז הוא חשב, he's a tzaddik. חשב שאסור לעלות אפילו במונית. She's not even allowed to go to the taxi. תמים. The rabbi says, you're 10 minutes מפלפלים איתו, and you judge him and bring him. תשאלו אותו, ask him, מה זה לקחת? מה זה לקחת? Before you judge the guy, תן להם מה לקחת. You see? You judge right away, you jump to conclusion, yeah? אתה מבין? הוו מתונים בדין. Everything in life is like a judgment. Always you see situations in life, it's like you have to judge. It's your judgment, yes, no, חייב, אסור, מותר. Before you judge, תחשוב. Just think. Think for a few minutes. תחשוב על זה, right? If you come to the conclusion, okay. But if you don't, right? If you're not sure, you're going to ask it up. But at least don't jump to conclusion. Think. הוו מתונים בדין. אמת השם של השמיא. I want to tell you, just finish off with a beautiful story I saw. If you don't jump to conclusions and you really think about it, I saw a story about the Minchat Yitzchak, of Yitzchak Weiss. He says the following. One time in his beddin came somebody and he says, I lent money to my neighbor, like 100,000 shekel, and he doesn't want to pay. Okay, Din Torah. They bring the two sides. He says, the other side says, לא היו דברים מעולם. I never asked him a penny. איך מה 100,000 shekel? So he says, the rabbi asked the guy, you have a proof? He said, בטח. I have a shtar. He says his name, where he lives, and he took and he signed it. So איפה השטר? Give me we have the paper? Yeah. So the guy takes out from his pocket the shtar, the paper, and he shows it to the rabbi. The rabbi looks at it. He says, Numa, what do you have to say about this? He says, Rabbi, I never signed the shtar. I'm telling you. I don't know where the paper came from. I never signed the shtar. He says, but this is your signature? He says, yeah. So the rabbi says, I have to think about it. Normally, this is the best proof the guy can have. This is the best proof he can have. So I must say that you owe him the money. But let me think one day. I want to think one day about it. Okay, the rabbi took off one day to think about it. The next day they come back to the beddin. They come back to the courthouse, and the rabbi is asking the one who's accused, tell me, do you have sifrei limud in your house? Do you have books of study in your house? He says, yeah, I have library. Baruch Hashem, I have four libraries with books. Okay? Huh? Alove. This the one is accused, right? Do you have books of study? He says, yeah, I have. He says, could you bring to beddin like 4 or 5 books? He said, okay. Any random books, right? He goes and he brings 4 or 5 books. And the Minchas Yitzchak opens the books, in the beginning. So in the beginning, always they have like a page of dedication or something, right? And a lot of people, for private books, they write their name. What does the rabbi see? This guy wrote his name on all his books and signed it. And always he did it like in the middle of the thing, on the page. But normally the page is white, it's completely white. The rabbi says, I know exactly what happened over here. He asked the Love, tell me, did you ever lend the book to your neighbor? He says, yeah, a few months ago he asked me a book that I have in my library. He asked me, can I lend my book? So I said, yeah, take it. He says, go bring the book. He went to bring the book, the first page was missing. What did the crook do? He cut off the page, he had the signature in the middle, and then he wrote the whole shtar that he owes him 100,000 shekel. Right? How did the rabbi catch it? He says, if I would judge like this, the guy is chayav. He would pay 100,000 shekel, which he doesn't. But always when you think, Hashem gives you the etzah, and Hashem gives you the solution. Baruch Adonai le'olam. Amen ve'amen.